On any given day, you might find Bill Lincoln singing at White.
Yep, that's me. But I'm not what you should be focusing on right now. Here, let's rewind a little bit. That instrument that just played is what's called the steel guitar, one of Hawaii's most famous and important inventions in its long history. The steel guitar was most widely known for its sliding notes, its ability to make changes in pitch while sustaining chords, and a more dramatic and sustained vibrato. It introduced new elements to music across the globe and proved to be one of the most unique and influential instruments in the world. The steel guitar was invented by Joseph Keku'upena o Kamehameha Kana'iaupuni Apua Kehau Jr. He was born in Laie on the island of Oahu in 1874. Joseph lived a quiet childhood, attending the Kamehameha schools for boys when he made his first steps in inventing the steel guitar. While walking down a road, holding an old Spanish guitar, he picked up a rusty bolt on the ground. As he picked it up, the bolt accidentally vibrated one of the strings and produced a new tone that was rather pleasing. Kekuku tested with various other metals and items, such as a pocket knife, the back of a steel comb, and a steel bar. After various prototypes, he landed on a version which had the strings off the fretboard to be played flat on the lap with a steel bar. Joseph would later move away to pursue a career in music on the continental United States, but is still accredited with the invention of the steel guitar. The steel guitar rapidly gained popularity, with its first big showing occurring after the overthrow of the Hawaiian kingdom. As the Hawaiians wanted to resist the changes by holding on to their culture, it was being used as a way for people to express themselves during this period of turmoil, and proved to be the foundation of the overall impact of the steel guitar. As Kekuku moved away from the islands, he performed his steel guitar all across the United States, ending up settling in Seattle and being titled the world's greatest guitar soloist. He had been offering lessons beyond his busy schedule of a vast amount of performances, and was drawing crowds that all gathered to hear such a beautiful instrument that they've never heard or seen before. In San Francisco, he performed at San Francisco's World Fair. In the South, which was still segregated at the time, he drew large crowds, and this region is where he made the most impact in their music. Research indicates that in the beginnings of country music, Hawaiian steel guitars influenced the sound of country musicians, including the man who started it all, Jimmie Rodgers. In blues, the slide technique is a prominent one, and is widely thought to have come from West Africa like most blues techniques. However, there are credible claims that this technique actually came from the Hawaiians and their steel guitar. Several blues musicians played with the Hawaiian technique, and first got introduced to the slide by the Hawaiians. Musician Son House, often considered the patriarch of the slide blues style cycle, claims that the slide is a Hawaiian way of playing music and was taught that from the very beginning. Later on, when rock and roll was at its peak, the slide guitar also made headways, featuring in songs and often being used as either a backup lead or a harmonizer. The steel guitar could also be found in genres such as gospel and western swing, although not an influential instrument in their histories. Although they weren't influential, they still played a major role in shifting the sound of these genres over the years and exposing more people to this instrument. Joseph's efforts in performing his instrument had spread the knowledge of the steel guitar across the continental United States and had begun an influence on Southern music such as jazz and blues. In later years, nearing World War II, the pedal was introduced to the steel guitar, expanding its use and popularity. Over the years, though, the popularity of the steel guitar has decreased, still being a staple in music across the world but not as widely known, celebrated, and performed. Nowadays, steel guitars are a staple in Hawaiian music, with nearly all Hawaiian songs including it in some shape or form. It is also heard in rock, indie, and country music nowadays, although not as prominent as in its glory days back in the mid-1900s. Steel guitar festivals are held throughout Hawaii, with some other festivals and conventions being held on the continental United States. For such a simple instrument, it proved to be one of the most influential of its era and an example of the intuition of the Hawaiian people.